Okay, topic 1 intro. We're working on rational number operations. And it says, how can the properties of operations be used to solve problems involving integers and rational numbers? So the fact that we now have two things that are different, integers and rational numbers, I want to first discuss what the difference between those two things are. So we're going to go to our Google. And what it says is, how are integers and rational numbers different? Well, when I think of something rational are things that make sense. They're easy. Like, I know that the number 1 stands for one thing. I know that 42 is 42. Those are rational. I also understand that sometimes numbers get a little bit more difficult. So let's look at these things. So this definition says, that is not it. An integer is a whole number, positive or negative. So that means an integer is one of those counting numbers and their opposites. So 1, -1, 2, -2, 3, -3. A rational number is a number that can be expressed as a fraction between two whole numbers. So that means it can be expressed as a fraction. 3/4, 2/3, 1/16. I'm not sure what they mean by between two whole numbers. An integer is a rational number because every integer can be expressed as a fraction. I'll agree with that because 1 can be expressed as 1/1, well, that's fraction. 2 can be expressed as 2/1, still a fraction. So those work for me. They're going to get into some of these other details, but right now let's just focus on they can be written as a fraction using integers. I'm not going to go deeper than that because there are some weird situations, but we aren't going to worry about those at this time. So going back to our book, topic vocabulary, these are the things that you are going to fill out on your page 2. So there's a page 2, and I'm not sure that I have it open, so hold on. Okay, I found it. So you're going to fill these in. Now, I'm assuming on the student edition on the computer, you guys should be able to just click in here and type in here, but we're going to find that out together. If you are doing it on paper at school, then you'll just fill in the blanks. And what words are you going to use? You're going to use additive inverse. So pause if you need to write it down. Complex fraction, multiplicative inverse, repeating decimal, and terminating decimal. Now use pause if you need to make sure that you get all those filled out. Okay, so those should all be filled in here. We are not going to worry about the definition at this time because as we move on with our topic 1, we will fill in those definitions as we run into those words. So if you think you know the definition, you can go ahead and type it in, but don't submit anything yet. So I just want to make sure that you guys know what's expected there. All right, topic overview. So in your system, if it's not broken down like this, you may have it. I'm not exactly sure how it's going to have it. But this is what I see when it's the student edition, so be patient. It might just pop up where it shows you this. It might just show you this. Now, the problem that I have with this is I can't read that. It's tiny. Hopefully on yours it's bigger. I'm assuming that's going to be a search. So let's see if I can make this bigger so that I can read it. Of course, my face is getting bigger, but you don't really need to worry about my face. So we're just going to leave that. I'll try to. Nope, can't move the face. I'll have to move the face later. So we're going to talk about these sorts of things and type those in. This, I wish it would let me type where I wanted to. The blank explains why A times B equals B times A, and A plus B equals B plus A. So what you should be able to tell is that the letters just moved. They just moved. So number 1, commutative, is because they're commuting like a little car. Okay, so these are supposed to be things that you already knew, but you know, stuff happens. So number one is commutative property. Number two, the blank of -6 is 6 because it is also 6 units from 0 on the number line, which means your number line, when you've got 0 here, if you have 6 here, you have -6 here. There are just as many on in front of the 0 as there is in the behind the 0. Okay, I'm not exactly sure how to delete all these things yet, but I'm sure that as the year goes on, figured it out. I will figure it out. So number two, that means that they are absolute values. So the absolute value means that they're the same distance from 0. So I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to have you guys, well, I would like to see you write this down if my computer, it doesn't like me. Absolute value. This is same distance from 0. Okay, so that's just to help you remember the absolute value. Basically just means it's its opposite, but it's the same distance from 0. So if it says what is the absolute value of -20, well, that means it's 20 spaces away from the 0. Let me move this. Okay, I'm the one having issues with not seeing. I talk with my hands, so I apologize. There we go. That might mess this up, but whatever. So number 2 is absolute value. It's the distance from 0. Number 3. Number 5/3 is a blank because 5 and 3 are integers and 3 does not equal 0. So what I said when I looked up what's the difference between integers and rational numbers? Well, remember the rational number can be written as a fraction. So that is a fraction written with both integers, which is 5 and 3. They're both counting numbers. So number 3 means it is rational number. Number 4, the set of blank consists of the counting numbers, their opposites, and 0. We had just Googled that. So if you do not remember, I'm going to take a pause right here. You guys are, and I'm going to raise hands with the kids at school. If you're at home, take a pause, see if you remember, and then come back. But the set of blank is all the counting numbers, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 0. So that will be integers. Number 5. The sum of a plus b, parentheses, a plus b, plus c is equal to the sum of a plus the quantity b plus c, as explained by v. Now, this one is like a little car because they kind of move. It's a commute. Okay, a car commutes. That's how it helps me. They moved around. But this one has to do with who you associate with. So who your friends are associates. Therefore, this is your clue. See how they changed friends? They changed from this friend group to this friend group. So they changed who they associated with. That means the answer to this one is associative property. Number 6, if you evaluate n times y plus x, or y plus z, if you evaluate n times the quantity, or the total of, y plus z, by writing it as n times y plus n times z, you have used the, and I am very impressed if you know this one on your own. So if you're in class, raise your hand now. I'm going to hit pause. If you're at home, what I want you to see is that this n right here was given to the y, distributed to the y, and distributed to the z. You see how it went? It's now distributed with the y, and it's now distributed with the z. So I am telling you the answer is the distributive property. Now somewhere my 6 went somewhere. Okay. So there are all of our lovely definitions that we should know. Those are the vocabulary that we should know coming into this unit. At the bottom are the math problems that we should be able to do coming into this unit. So I will stop this video now and then start another video for the bottom, hopefully.